FM, one of my favorite people and also I think most iconic musicians in the South African musical landscape over the course of probably now the last 20 plus years. Everything from Poliesiekar to his own background and bands, a series of which are all going to culminate in Pretoria for a massive show of which he's very much the spearhead of. Legend of South African alternative music, Francois van Coke. And now the only opportunity I ever get to see you is when we sit down for interactions like this. I'm very grateful.
Dude, so good to see you. And thank you for that intro. And it's amazing because I was at a couple of Afrikaans radio stations recently. And if I say Poliesiekar, I see the other people in the studio cringe hard. So it's very nice to hear that you say that.
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure I can. So like the other day when we knew you were coming in, we played the Neon Dreams track that you've done, which we'll talk about. But I was speaking on it, and I was like, yeah, it's Francois van Coke from Poliesiekar. It came out of my mouth, and I was like, I think that's fine. I think we're allowed to. Because I know historically 5FM has always gone with that.
When I've had you on full before. Name, yeah.
I don't know. It might be severely upsetting someone upstairs with a lot of paperwork and things like that, but I'm pretty sure that we can do it. But there was,
if it comes from me, it's fine, right?
Yeah.
That's what the Afrikaans people also say.
But isn't it weird because you go on a conservative station, but I imagine there are Afrikaans platforms that do say Poliesiekar.
Dude, I'm trying to think if there are ones. I think people always on the radio stations they always say Poliesiekar.
Okay.
But in the print media, it's weird. The print media took it on as a normal word, like the burger.
The spell check doesn't know what it is because it's one contracted word. So, it's supposed to be three.
I don't know how that worked, but in the beginning it was like star Poliesiekar. You know, they eventually it just became something that they printed.
The last time that I did see you was, I don't know if it was at the airport. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You were flying in for a show, I think. I was going down to Cape Town. You were coming up to Johannesburg. It was about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I said we must get together. And you'd mentioned then the fact that there was this track that was in the works with Neon Dreams, which is, for me, this is the most exciting thing that's happened. The most exciting thing for me about your career is how you're now in this place where Neon Dreams, a Canadian punk pop duo, comes to South Africa. They watch one of your shows. I remember seeing it on their Instagram about 6-7 months ago and decides that they have to do a track with you. It's like not a world that you would have imagined, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of being in this position where you can translate outside of Afrikaans. That track's playing on 5FM. It's cool, right?
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's so weird that they came to South Africa first and foremost. They got big here for some reason that they can't really explain. I don't know if you know anything about that. They just kind of
why they ended up here.
Yeah, they just kind of realized they've got a lot of streams here, and they came in the COVID time, and they could only do small shows, and their first tour sold out, and they fell in love with the place, and then they started coming back more and more and built this a crazy following. And my bassist Dolph produced some songs for them.
Okay.
So that was like the first connection, and then we played a show together. And we really connected from the get-go. And then they invited me to studio, but this song wasn't supposed to be on my EP. And there was no thoughts of Franco and Vrienden before that. I just kind of went in, and I was in the studio. I wasn't really sure what I'm doing there, and I just kind of started writing a little bit of lyrics in the back, and then I actually told them I'm not a big fan of mixing Afrikaans and English songs because it sometimes
feel like it's cheesy or
it's it just doesn't. I've done it before and it didn't really work for me. And then they were like, no, but they are super keen on it, and they love the language so much. They're keen for me to have an Afrikaans verse, and I wrote it and I really think it kind of actually works this time, which is awesome. And yeah, it is quite amazing that there's an Afrikaans song with a Canadian band. It definitely reached platforms that I haven't been on for years.
But I think it's great. The sincerity of it as well, because it's quite like a vulnerable subject matter, I guess.
Yes, right? Yeah. It's like a love song about about someone that loves you while you can't really give that love back to them. So it's kind of vulnerable, and we had to kind of have this conversation, me and the Neon Dreams boys, which is quite a weird conversation to have with someone that you've just met, you know.
What's harder? Is it harder to be in your 20s and be singing songs about like taking down society, or to be in your 40s and writing vulnerable love songs?
Because I think the vulnerable love song thing has always been the hardest. I was completely against love songs for a big part of my life. I mean, I was like against writing a love song. I was kind of in my 20s. I was like, I think I was fighting against everything that was the norm.
Angry and shouting, and people shouted with you.
So I was like, I couldn't really accept love. Like I'm actually married to the girl that I was with at that time, that stuck by me through the heavy times. But you know, I was like trying to fight against anything that's normal. So love was normal. Having a car was normal, you know, like
stability.
Having a bed that's not just a base on the floor was normal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything that was normality was, I was fighting against. So, yeah, it took me a while to kind of get into that. And then eventually I wrote a love song for my wife, and kind of, I checked people could relate to that too. And that's also, I think every love song after that was about the same person, but it was, writing that first one was hectic. The vulnerability is tough for sure.
But it's almost more, that is punk rock, right? Like being naked and honest and vulnerable. It's the same energy. It's just now you have to do it without any fuel, right? Now you've got to do it completely naked and self-aware, which is maybe harder.
For sure. It's just like, I guess like, you're feeling that vulnerability when you actually put that stuff out and you have to play it to someone. That's probably the hardest part. If you play it the first time to the people that write with you, or the people that you're closest with, you know, that first moment, it's like, how can I say this in front of people? And then, you know, if they like it, then it makes it a lot easier for me.
I wanted to, at just some point while we were chatting, bring up Angie Oeh, to give anyone context that might not necessarily know. This is someone who I've just been so fascinated by. Jumps into the musical scene a couple of years ago, and it's just kind of doing not too dissimilar a thing in terms of what you were doing in those early days, pissing people off, and being rough and out there, but also musical and artistic and challenging. Like I had a thing, and I'd say this to her. I'd say, like, it's not. So she makes hip hop music, and it's not necessarily my explicitly favorite kind of genre. But when I saw that she existed, I was like, I will support this artist. I think it's phenomenal, and she's young, and she's terribly now been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and this is news that's come out in the last like 2 weeks. And I know that you maybe aren't as close with her as, say, Wynand is, but obviously because the two of you are close, and you have this sense of, you know, when you see something that is like quite punk rock and is a new generation, I'm sure you do fall in love, and I'm sure that this has affected you, and that you're very supportive and aware of the different kind of like efforts to try and help her.
Yes, Angie, I think Wynand saw exactly those things that you were talking about in her before she was even out there. I think he discovered her on TikTok. Someone sent him a video of her on TikTok, and he was like, damn, he has to get into contact with this girl, because I think he always wants to attach himself to stuff that is different and out there and challenges the status quo. So, I think he saw that very early on. And I see it too. It's amazing for me that she's doing something that's completely different and challenging people's thought patterns, especially Afrikaans people. It's really cool. And obviously it's terrible that she's been diagnosed with cancer, and it's just amazing to see how much love people are giving her, and everyone that's contributing to her funds. It's amazing. From my side, we also made 100 extra tickets available for my show. That all of the profits from that is going to Angie as well.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I'm glad you're doing that. And there is a Backer Buddy people should go and check out. It is cool. It's nice to be able to also bring all these different people that you've attracted together. Like, I remember being in Stellenbosch at varsity and being considered one of the slightly more alternative kids, having a lot of friends who were like the rugby jocks and whatever. But if it was 2 a.m. and we'd wrapped our spleens around lampposts and we were walking home from our various stalls to go braai at home at 3 a.m, Skyn Heilig is what we were screaming to each other. And now we're all older, and some are artists, some are accountants, all of which would go to a show like this. So would our younger brothers and sisters and cousins, many of whom are still figuring themselves out. And so it's kind of become this for everybody kind of thing, as opposed to being like, coming from an alienated place. So that's amazing. It's like, imagine you have moments where you stand on that stage and you go, it's kind of a weird collection of people that my music has been able to bring together. And I imagine there is like a sense of pride that comes from that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's funny. A thing that, when I was a young band and Polytones was very popular, like Khan said to me, he doesn't make music for the cool kids. He just makes music for everybody. And then I was like, then I think...
Shut up, Khan.
Yeah, but I guess that's where I'm
right.
now. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's really for everybody. And first and foremost, it's for myself and for everyone that I write the songs with. And, in Folk of Poliesiekar, it's for us, first and foremost. It's just amazing that, people relate to this stuff and find it relevant to their lives, and they want to sing along to the songs. It's amazing, and I'm thankful for that.
We're going to try see what will happen if we put the shoe on the other foot. So instead of you singing Afrikaans on an English Neon Dreams track, I want to try see if I can get you to sing Afrikaans versions of some well-known South African songs, just so everyone knows we've barely given Francois any time to put this together. Whether it goes well or not, I think it'll still be entertaining.
I'm really keen to give it a bash. Very keen. We can get now. Ek's levendig. Wow, yeah, ek's levendig. Ek's levendig, ek's levendig. Jy weet ek is ek's levendig, ek's levendig. As ek's levendig, levendig. Jy weet is waar, ek's levendig, levendig. Saam met jou. Saam met jou. Yeah! Saam met jou.
Yeah, I think it works, right?
Dus baby, ek wil nie huis toe gaan nie. Als die licht aankom nader en gee my nog een. En die gevoel van jou soen sit vas in my kop. Jy kan my hart breek as ek jou nog een keer. Kan ek jou weer sien? Sorry, the end is wrong, but
I think that's fine. I think it has to be perfect.
I messed up the end, but willingly don't be a
yeah, I don't think
don't be a about it. Well,
he's like the sweetest guy in the world. Have you hung out with him much?
Yeah, no, he's super cool, man.
I think that he would he's going to listen to it, take time, and give you his real thoughts on it. He's going to say, listen, Francois, I think we got a hit. And Jules, you obviously know well, right?
Yeah, very well. I actually know, Jules, for years, obviously we've known each other from the scene, and I actually played a couple of gigs with Will lately.
Oh, yeah?
So I got to hang out with him a bit.
He's kind of sort of being co-opted into the Afrikaans world.
Dude, they love him. I played with him in Potchefstroom, and the girls were going
ballistic.
Beatles vibes.
Really?
It was crazy, screaming.
Who else would you say in South Africa is an English artist that the Afrikaans community has sort of said, we're cool with you?
Neon Dreams.
Right.
Majosi.
Yes.
I think Matthew Mole as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Afrikaans people also like Prime Circle.
Yeah. They've been accepted.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, they'd if you go back, there's Neil Diamond.
Yeah.
They love it.
And any kind of country, actually.
Yes. Yeah.
Afrikaans people love country.
Can't get enough.
I also like country.
No, so do I. I've got a huge space in my heart for. There's this guy Morgan Wallen who's a modern country musician.
Oh yes, I've heard of it. I've actually heard some of his stuff.
Last night we let the liquor talk. You know that song?
Yeah, I'm not sure of that one, but I'll go check it out.
I'll send it to you, dude.
I love Jason Isbell. Do you know him?
No.
He's go check him out.
Oh well, dude. Thank you for coming in, and good luck with the show.
Is that it?
What do you want to do?
I've prepared one more.
You have another one you want to try?
Yes, yeah.
Hey, Stierken.
Can we?
Yeah, let's do it. AKA KDDO Company.
Maak vir jou 'n meesterstuk. Die wêreld is nie genoeg nie. Soen my op die wang, maak mooi vir my. Ooh, die geselskap, energie, ek slaan jou nie. Die leksheid, arrivé DJ somebody.
I'm so happy we did that. That was amazing.
I love that one.
That's your favorite, you reckon?
That one works the best in Afrikaans, funnily enough, I think.
It's got a good flow, right?
Yeah.
In both languages. Dude, thank you, man. It's good to hang out. As I say, if we have to force it through an interview, I just like spending time with you.
Oh, it's lucky to see you, man. And I hope I can see you guys tomorrow night,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
We're going to hang out afterwards.
The whole time, yeah.
Lekker.
And just walk around on stage while you're singing.
Of course.
It's hold up sign. But thank you. It's good to see you, and good luck with the show. I think it's gonna be huge.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Francois van Coke, ladies and gentlemen.
Nick Hamman.
I'm on the train.